cam bolt number 1. Very easy to get to if you get the shock out of the way. So sometimes it's worth taking a little bit more off the car than you normally would to get things accessible. Bolt number 2. I just rock them back and forth and push on them. They seem to come out pretty good. Now watch, this is going to drop on you, so you don't want to get your fingers anywhere stupid. Just use a screwdriver or a wrench to pry it up out. Get out of there. Boom. Okay. Now I've got to get that nut off, that castle nut, and then put a pickle fork in there and pop the ball joint out of the hub here, out of the spindle setup. And then I'll have that control arm. We can work on getting the ball joint out and pressing the bushings. Okay, we got it out. Use the pickle fork, which just hammers against the ball joint and pops it out. It's a wedge, so it's a simple wedge. Now what it does is, often it ruins this boot, but since we're changing the ball joints anyways, it's not a problem. But if you're going to do it and not change the ball joint, maybe you want to buy a boot if you're going to use one of them, because it really does a number on it. Okay, so now we're at the fun part, where we need to press these out. And as you can see, things are pretty rusted. Each bushing is going to get pressed in from the outside. So you need to think of a clever way to fit it in the press. So what I did was I got some ready rod and a couple lengths of pipe. And I made it so that this pipe's going to go in there, and I'll put a nut right there through the rod, and I'll be able to press on the ready rod above here, and that'll force the pipe to press this part of the bushing out right there. After that, I can turn the whole thing over, use another length of pipe, and just press the remaining one out. So it's a little bit tricky and you got to think about it, but with some washers and some rod and a couple good pieces of pipe, you don't want to be using anything with thin wall. It's sketchy enough as it is. Not a copper pipe. You need a steel pipe with something like this. It's like an 1/8 inch wall, something that's not going to just bunch up and break. So I'm going to get this set up and we're going to press it out. Okay, so I've got my rig set up, and it's just like I explained. You've got a piece of pipe, which is going to do the pressing on the bushing. I've got everything set up here so that things are straight and level. You want to press pretty evenly, as close as you can. This nut here is threaded into this rod, which I carried all the way through to also keep everything straight. And that is going to press on the pipe and push this guy out. So you got to be careful with these presses. You don't want to have your face down by your work. You want to kind of stand back and be careful and not press it too fast. Take your time and be smart. I like to stand off to the side. It may even make some noise. Looks like we got it on the run here. Yeah, we're just slowly pushing it out. Boom. So I've reached pretty much the end of my throw. So in this rig, if that happens, you got to relieve the pressure. And thread the rod a little differently so I can have more push. Come on, let's go. Yeah, there we go. Need a hair more. But we're almost out. There we go. The whole thing falls apart, so watch your toes. Okay, so pressing the second one out is even easier. All you need is a piece of pipe. Right? And it's going to push it right out that side. Now, I take the time, and this is important, to shim it up. It's an uneven surface, and you want it to sit level. So get different pieces of metal of different thicknesses so that you can keep that flat and well supported around there. So let's press this one out. Okay, I'm seeing that it's not going straight. I don't like that, so I'm not going to push it any further. Put a washer in so I can get it centered better. There we go. Now I can press on the center of it. There we go. That's it. This is almost out. I didn't quite make it. bushings out. Next is the ball joint. So for this, I put the arm in my vise here. Not crazy tight. So, with these ball joints, you could buy a socket. And they just turn out. Goes on a 3/4 drive. It's 1 59/64 inches. So it's almost 2 inches. And just turns out. Yeah, so it really wasn't this easy to start. I had to use a big pipe. And leverage is key. You give it a nice shock, break it loose, and then keep it going, because you don't want it to set up. Look at that. But this is a nice tool. What else are you gonna do? Are you gonna, you know, put an old pipe wrench on there and try and get it? And then you put the new one in with the pipe wrench and mar it all up? It was 15 bucks. There it is.